This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition, a late night edition here on a Sunday evening before Family Day Monday in Alberta. In fact, well, how about this? A late night Sunday edition after a big Edmonton Oilers win to go back into first place, ladies and gentlemen, in the Pacific Division. How good does that sound? That absolutely made my Sunday. Hope it made yours. Actually, my visit with my uncle was quite the day maker, honestly, there. I think that made the day over the Oilers winning and getting back into first place. I know that sounds weird, but hey, you know what? Realistically, this Oilers team, they've been, for 90% of this year, it seems like. Now, realistically, it's probably closer to 75, 70% have been a first place team. And you know what? That's quite remarkable in itself. But what we're going to talk about today is what's really remarkable as Rudy just makes his presence known, of course, busting in, barging down the door. But the most incredible fact for this Edmonton Oilers, this team this season, is if you go to the NHL.com stats website and you just hit a bunch of buttons and somehow put the filter to the record for days between games at 0, the Oilers are a perfect 6-0, ladies and gentlemen, on the back half of back-to-backs. And I'm sorry. I am sorry. That is alarmingly good. Unreal. Because you tell me any other time in the history of the Edmonton Oilers that we've been 6-0 come February on the back half of back-to-backs. I mean, it's not a stat I'm looking for by any means, so I can't say that it hasn't happened, but that doesn't sound like an Edmonton Oilers stat. Now, what that's done, you look at this back-to-back in the past month here. We've had two, one to open February, and then, of course, the one today that sealed us back into first place. It's been a long journey back to first place for this Edmonton Oilers team, and I can't find the exact stats there, and heaven forbid if I've actually got my brain about me at 9:30 in the evening to tell you that stat. But that said, Edmonton started the month on a back half of a back-to-back, coming out of a grueling game against the St. Louis Blues on January 31st. It was time to reignite the Battle of Alberta for the third time in, 3 weeks, pretty much? Yeah, you know what, 3 weeks. Third time in 3 weeks. January 11th, January 29th, and then, of course, February 1st. And, okay, coming off that big game against St. Louis, it was a big physical game against Calgary at home, and we're on the road for this one, which is the crazy part about it. And, ladies and gentlemen, no doubt about it, the Edmonton Oilers, yeah, sure, Calgary wasn't ready to play, but we took that one 8-3, and that was an emphatic statement. And I mean, that's what kick-started this whole road to back to the first place in the division. Yes, the division's been a crapshoot at best, and that probably has helped us quite a bit as well. But then you go on a road trip like we had this week, right? You start the week, Sunday, February 9th, coming off a 3-2 win against Nashville to get back in the win column after a 2-game losing streak. Then you play Chicago on Tuesday, you win 5-3, a very good game, a very much so needed victory for our Edmonton Oilers. You get on the road 2 days later, the lineup just seems to get more and more depleted by the day, even got depleted more today with Gagne potentially being injured. 3-1 Tampa Bay. Played to be a 2-1 game with an empty netter realistically. Okay, fine and dandy. Then you get into what a lot of us were concerned about, right? Back-to-backs, Florida, Carolina, they've been teams in the East for most of this season, right? They've been competing in that playoff picture. Well, Florida we handled by playing a solid, probably one of the most solid 60 minutes on the road we've played all year. Next to probably that Boston game that we played, because that was an unreal 60 minutes out of the Edmonton Oilers as well. And then you've got the back half of the back-to-back, the whole point of this video, the 6-0, right? This is what put us to 6-0 in back halves of the back-to-back, days between the games, 0, ladies and gentlemen. That being a 4-3 overtime thriller. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, my buddy Kevin that tunes into the channel every so often, I got to give him hats off, credit here, at 3:24 p.m. All right, hold on. 3:24 p.m. That is not even an hour and a half after puck drop. He's asking me, what's your call this game? I said, my call, and Oilers win. Score? I said, I honestly don't know. He said 4-3 in overtime for the Oilers. Dude's living an hour and a half in the future. The Oilers go out there, get some solid goaltending, and Mike Smith steals us a game with Josh Archibald going the other way with Leon Draisaitl and winning us a game in overtime, big time. I mean, start of the year, if you're going to tell me Josh Archibald was going to score an overtime winner in February to put us back in first place, I think if I would have said that, let's not. If somebody would have told me that, maybe I'm a little kooky. I might believe it. But if I would have told you that, I'm sorry. No, I would have been a clown. And I know to a degree I am, but nobody, like everybody, would have been looking at me completely sideways on that statement. That said, that goal by Archibald, ladies and gentlemen, puts us back in first place, but also cements the craziest record of the year, I think, by far, of any of the stats we have, other than our power play being absolutely monstrous this season. Back half of back to halves, we are 4-3 winners today to go 6-0. And you want some stats on that? How about this? The Oilers have 12 points out of a possible 6. That's unreal. They have a goals for per game, helped greatly by that game against Calgary for sure. 4.33. A goals against per game in those situations of 2.50. For ladies and gentlemen, the best goal differential per games played with 0 games back-to-back at 1.83. All the way at the bottom, it's minus 2.15 for the Detroit Red Wings. And there are only 4 teams in the NHL with a 1+ differential, that being Vegas, that being New York, and that being Tampa Bay. Ladies and gentlemen, the Edmonton Oilers lead that class by a whole half-goal differential in the back half of back-to-backs. That's unreal. That is unreal. And I think it's one stat, I don't know if it's been talked a lot about today, but it's one stat that absolutely blows my mind. Being an Edmonton Oilers fan, you know, suffering what we have for the past 13, 14, 15 years, whatever. 14. We're going on 14 since that cup run back in 2006. My goodness, I'm old. That said, the Oilers also have done a fantastic job shooting the puck in back halves of back-to-backs. They shoot the puck 32.5 times, if I've got my math right, to be within the top 10 in that category. Shots against per game. This is another category you got to really watch because this is where teams get really lazy in the back half of back-to-backs. Well, guess what? The Edmonton Oilers absolutely know how to shut the game down on the back half to a back-to-back because they allow the second least shots per game on the back half of a back-to-back. How many times I'm going to say that? Somebody keep score. You win gratification for doing it if you do it, because I'm going to say it a lot. And the crazy part here is, let's just take a look. Like, this is all available at NHL.com/stats/teams. And the stupid part here is you want to go power play opportunities per game against in the back half of back-to-backs. The Edmonton Oilers all the way down at 22nd at 3.17. So yeah, we take some penalties. We take some penalties. But you look at this, time shorthanded per game. Okay, no, never mind. Power play percentage. Ooh, this one we might want. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to throw you some stupid stats. How about this? The Edmonton Oilers, how far ahead in the power play percentage in the back half of back-to-backs do you think the Edmonton Oilers are when it comes to, like I said, the back half of back-to-back? How about 7.8% higher? This Edmonton Oilers team, I know they score a lot of goals in the back half of back-to-backs, and it's only a sample size of 6 games, but think of it this way. They are operating at 36.8% efficiency on the power play in the back half of a back-to-back. Wow. I mean, our power play is good, but it gets even better yet when we've played a back-to-back. Sure. And yet, here's the stupid stat. You want one that's really going to hurt. Is the Oilers, for some reason, I mean, face-off percentage has always been a lowly subject for the Oilers. How about they have the 29th worst face-off percentage in the NHL in the back half of a back-to-back? You tell me, okay, think of that. All right, I've laid out the stupid stats night and day right here, clear as it, right? And you look at some of these stats, how are we so good? You look at the other stats, man, we are so good. But that's the story of this year, baby. She's risky businesses as risky business does sometimes, and then sometimes you have this stupid stat 6-0, in the back half of back-to-backs that just goes out here, and for the past 10 minutes you've listened to how mind-blowing I am that is at all actually a stat for the Oilers. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, you enjoy your Sunday evening. We'll talk a lot tomorrow because it's family day tomorrow, and that means I've got the day off. So what else am I going to do? I'm going to wish my sister goodbye, have a good trip back up north, and we're going to simply just sit here all day and find stupid stats like this one to discuss here on Dolynny TV, and hopefully, big thing, if I don't wake up to it tomorrow morning, wake up to 7,500 subscribers in a video or two tomorrow. Guys, I'm Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. Last thing I gotta say, Sunday has been an incredible day. You guys absolutely blew my mind on the live stream today. Hopefully, more of that to come right away. Guys, I'm Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. I am up on out of here.